Up Yours, it's January 26th, and this is Up Yours with the Unknown Pundit, where I'm essentially allowing people to bear witness to my ongoing emotional breakdown in this experiment of self therapy, where I simply talk into a screen to myself and it's not a podcast. I'm essentially just sitting here speaking with hope that maybe something I'm talking about prompts others to maybe think, oh, that resonates with me, and I'm happy to connect with anybody that wants to talk about the things they're thinking and feeling, if it's along what I'm dealing with, because it's reached the point where I often wonder, what do people care about anymore, and are they caring about things that actually matter? I know nobody's really paying attention to me. I'm a nobody. What I think, what I feel, doesn't really amount to a hill of beans at the end of the day or early in the morning. I'm just an ordinary man struggling, and I find that somehow talking about it, if only to myself, helps lighten the load. And Lord knows I need loads of more light. So that's what I'm doing. I'm sitting here just talking in my living room. I'm not wearing any shoes. There's no script, no special effects. I got the TV on, but other than that, no big production here. This is not a podcast. This is therapy that I'm allowing others to observe. Why? I have no idea. I get that it's kind of crazy, but for me it's absolutely necessary, because I can't keep things bottled in. The things I'm seeing just disturb me to the point where I just feel like a gut punch every day. And it seems to me we're infected with this disease of distraction. I don't know if anybody's paying attention, and I'm concerned, what is it that people are paying attention to? I mean, if it would take, I wish I had Olivia Rodrigo sitting here on my lap, or just next to me, anything with Olivia Rodrigo, or if Taylor Swift was here rubbing her fingers through my bed head as Travis Kelce had me in a headlock. That would get your attention. That would get people's attention. What does it take to get people's attention these days? What's going on? Does it matter? Does it matter to anybody? What does it take before people care? I know I can't compete with the other things that are demanding people's attention. I don't demand it. I'm not asking for likes or followers. I'm just curious. Does anyone else care? In recent days, I've spoken about the mother, Renee Nicole Good, who was murdered in Minnesota when these so-called agents of ICE, Immigration and Custom Enforcement, whoever those guys are in the black mask that are terrorizing our city streets and neighborhoods, we don't know. So they tell the woman to move her car or get out, who knows, get out of the car, get the car moved, and she goes to do it, not running anyone, not driving toward anybody, but moving her car around them. And as she goes to do it, someone jumps up on her hood, shoots her 3 times at point blank range. And if that's not enough, that they kill her and leave 3 children without their mother, then they want to turn around and label her as a terrorist, domestic terrorist. And now, as horrific as that was, they've done it again to an intensive care nurse from the Veterans Administration, a man, 37 years old, named Alex Pretty, who was shot in cold blood while he was being restrained on the ground And it's not enough that they murdered this American citizen, and Renee Nicole Good was an American citizen too. These are not illegal aliens like they said they were targeting. These are Americans. And it's so vile to me that even after all the evidence indicates they're fucked up, I'm talking about the government that is killing its own citizens, rather than simply acknowledge, yeah, we screwed up, we got to do better, we didn't follow the rules, we didn't follow the law, rather than own up to that, which is the responsible thing to do. No, let's target the woman, let's target Pretty and make them out to be something they aren't, terrorists. And Kristi Noem, that dog-killing dipshit that is directing the Department of Homeland Security, had the audacity to stand up in front of cameras yesterday claiming that this man, Alex Peretti, went up to ICE officers with his gun drawn, threatening them, and they were forced to mitigate a threat. When dozens of people are standing around filming what's happening, which directly opposes what Kristi Noem tried to make people believe. And the evidence shows Pretty, who is has a license permit to conceal carry. Yeah, he has a gun, it's on his body, but when the immigration and customs people approach him, he's standing with his phone filming as they knock people down onto the ground, people that they pulled out of some car. And Pretty is standing there filming this between the women that they knocked to the ground and these officers. Then they come up to him, pushing him, knocking him down to the ground. And while he's knocked down on the ground, they're holding him, restraining him, and got his arms on top of him. There's several on top of him. And then they find this gun on his body. The video shows that one of the agents took the gun off his body, and then they take another gun and start shooting the man at point blank range. And again, they killed this nurse and then want to turn around and say, oh, it's his fault. But this is what they do. It's been the MO of some of the worst of criminals in history. And in order to try and get us to not focus on the fact that what they've done was a horrendous act of terror, rather than us think about the fact of what they've done, they would have us focus on some narrative that is absolutely not true, that these people somehow deserved it. And by labeling them as terrorists, or in the case of Renee Nicole Good, trying to get people to focus on the fact that the woman was a lesbian, they're hoping that your disdain for these alternative lifestyles, or disdain for people that they label as terrorists, they're hoping your disdain for that will be greater than your love for the Constitution. And I'm seeing these things, and I'm just thinking, my God, am I the only one who's disgusted with this? And I'm sick of it. I wonder, what does it take for people to not be so distracted by all the other stuff that's going on and start saying this, look at what they need to be looking at, focus on what's happening, and say, we can't tolerate this anymore. How many more children need to be left without a parent? How many families need to lose a son? How many spouses need to be made widowed? And don't think that, oh, that's Minnesota. That happens over there. It doesn't affect me where I'm at. By the way, I'm in Florida. It's very warm right now, despite the frigid conditions in Minnesota. And my point is, it doesn't matter where you are, because if they can do it there, they can do it anywhere if we continue to allow it. I only know when we don't like the things we're seeing. There's no fixing it unless we get focused. So my feeling is we got to open our eyes and more, not just open our eyes, but open our mouths and put an end to this. How many more Americans need to die? For those people who want to just stay silent, the silence is a form of complicity that allows the killing, the kidnapping, and criminality to just continue. I'm asking people to join me. Let's open our eyes, open our mouths, and say this killing has to stop. This is not the right way to go about it. Yes, immigration laws need to be enforced. Why have a law if it's not being enforced? That's fine. If you violated your entry into the country, overstayed your visa, yes, there's consequences for that. I don't have a problem with that. What I'm saying is the enforcing of those laws shouldn't come with the targeting of every single person that has a different shade of skin. And it shouldn't mean that Americans need to be murdered without reason. Americans who are sometimes just exercising the right to protest. In the case of Prey, who's standing there filming what these alleged ICE agents were doing. We don't know who these guys are with the black mask and black uniforms driving around in the black vans where they snatch up children and women and whoever and whisk them off to nowhere. Where are the children? How many children have they gotten? How many more people need to die? Because truth is, it's not just Renee Nicole Good or an Alex Pretty. There's many others who've been paralyzed and killed in the course of this act of retribution that Trump is unleashing on communities that have democratic leadership. This is terror like what you'd find in Eastern Europe and things that terrorists do, the worst of despots. And it seems to me, I just don't know what it's going to take before people don't let them distract them into believing other things by trying to convince you that these people are terrorists when they're your average fellow American citizen. I don't know how many more need to fall, how much more blood needs to be spilled. I'm concerned about what might happen when my daughter goes out with my grandchildren. My daughter was born overseas in the British West Indies. She has a beautiful olive complexion. She's not white as me, but I'm scared that it could happen to her the same as it happened to that woman in Minnesota. And what will she do when a bunch of black masked men start pounding on her window, screaming at her to move, to get out of the car, move the car? And how would she respond to that? How is she supposed to respond? Simply let them take her, take my grandchildren, stick them in the back of the van and take off? How is someone supposed to respond to that? I wish people would think more about these questions and feel like if you can't help, just don't hurt. How many more people need to be hurt? I don't know the answer, but for the people that just want to stay silent, I feel like you're complicit in what's happening. So up yours.